One major funding round, one merger of sorts, many startups for you to check out, and more in this week's episode of 3 Minute Friday. Let's start with the big one. Acast, a company out of Sweden, raised $19.5 million in order to expand globally. What they do is basically a podcasting service for anybody that wants to run a podcast. What I really like about them is that they really think both about the podcasters and the users. So the podcasters have a nice way to monetize and to record podcasts and get it out there, while the listeners can really find curated content. It is also important for me the fact that they are going into audio, and I really believe that audio is going to be a big thing in the future, as more and more people will be socially pressured to not look at their screens all the time. So when you're going to be in the subway, it will be more accepted to actually listen than to watch a screen. I also believe that's one of the reasons that Apple has removed the headphone jack to get us ready to that world where we're listening all the time. At the same time, I a little bit question the model of Acast because they're raising quite a lot of money consistently, which means they're running out of cash, which means they're probably not profitable yet and might not be for future to come. That means that they might end up in a situation that Spotify is in right now. It will be curious to see if they can make it work because I do like the service and I actually consider starting doing podcasts on it. If you think that we should do podcasts there, let us know. Another company that caught our attention out of Finland this week is Yogaya. It's a company that allows you to do yoga from the comfort of your home or office online. And they've been growing really quick. We first met them at RD15 where they raised their first funding round and got to know them over the years. And we really liked that they were growing fast and attracting a lot of users. Today they announced a partnership with Manduka, a US-based company that makes yoga mats. The interesting thing about this partnership is that it's more than just a partnership. You see, normally we don't cover news about a company or startup getting a partner. That's not interesting. But what makes us curious about this case is that they're actually going to rebrand the whole company as Yoga plus Manduka. And even though equity distribution remains the same, this company will act as one brand. And that might be a really smart way for them to do in order to sell the mats and also the service of yoga at the same time. I am curious about, however, the actual branding because Yoga and Manduka is quite a long name. We have also visited the Nordic Innovation Week this week, and what we really liked about Norway is the fact that entrepreneurship scene there is really starting to thrive, especially in the early stage. One of the speakers at the opening scene in Norway said that if you have a pulse, you can raise seed money in Oslo. And that means that there's a lot of interest now. The problem, however, is that there isn't as much venture capital to follow up on those rounds, and some of the people that we talked to said that there might be a cultural problem about entrepreneurship in Norway. We're going to explore more. One thing we did note is that there was quite a lot of heavy industry technology over there, and a lot of startups that actually solve real problems. We wanted to highlight some of them that we met at the AI part of the event. We wanted to take a look at Wati, which is a company that helps you to monitor energy use at your home and optimize it accordingly. Another one that got our eye was Spacemaker, an AI tool for architects. Biomedic was also an interesting company because they help imaging biomarkers for clinical trials and patient diagnosis. Finally, check out Zen Robotics. It's a company that's been around for a while, out of Finland, and they help to figure out waste thanks to AI and robotics. Very cool stuff. Last but not least, we want to remind you that today and also tomorrow you can get tickets to Arctic 15 at a 10% discount today and a 5% discount tomorrow. And the earlier you get the ticket, the higher the chance will be that you get to meet Gary Vaynerchuk one-to-one live at Arctic 15. And right now we're heading off to a hackathon at Tuusula, so stay tuned for the social media activity from Arctic Startup from the hackathon. Thank you for this week. Thank you, Heavily, for supporting us. See you next week. Ta-ta!